Let me get this thing shared, and then I'm going to start. Okay, so couple of shout outs real quick. That is You Amaze Me, currently unreleased. I do own the rights to this title, written by me, sung by Ariana. And so shout out to Ariana for the song. Another quick shout out, Drake's Photography, who designed my logo, who did a pretty awesome job. I have to go into explaining what the logo actually symbolizes, but that's not what I'm here for today. So I'm going to jump into a couple of topics that aren't the easiest to discuss, but in this season, in this timing, I feel like it is definitely something that we can no longer continue to turn blind eyes to. And fortunately for me, I have the assignment of being bold enough to speak. Hello, Jimmy. If you would, if you're bold enough, please share this video. We're just getting started. So we're going to talk about sex, men, and men's issues. And this is kind of like a pre-celebration. I don't know really what to call it. I've got a new title coming out. It's a devotional for a healing devotional. Is 40 Days to Freedom. It's called 40 Days to Freedom. If you haven't checked that out, you can check that out at witnesslegend.com. But before that book releases, I'm going to do promos on all 3 books in the A Call to Purity series. And we're first going to start with Sexually Wise. Why Sexually Wise, and why beginning February the 1st? Because we all know that February is the launch of Valentine's Day, is the launch of when most of us will be either experiencing heartbreak or experiencing some good stuff, and not always in a godly manner. And so I'm going to kind of be coming on and off here because I want to talk about each book as it relates to A Call to Purity and as it relates to the promo. The book will be completely free. So I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm asking you to download the book. Take about 30 minutes to read the book. Leave a review on Amazon of the book. But this particular book is a dear heart of mine because it deals with something that I feel like a lot of women deal with and a lot of men. And whether you know it or not, there are a lot of men that are addicted to sex. There are a lot of men that are addicted to pornography. There are a lot of men that are addicted to masturbation. There are a lot of men that don't understand their sex drive. They don't understand how to choose the right women. I've talked to a couple of men who don't understand why they keep attracting the same type of woman in their lives. And so these are the women that bring them drama, that for some reason they can't leave them alone, or whatever the case may be. For some reason they keep keep attracting these type of women to them. And so that's the purpose of Sexually Wise, because I believe that if we're going to revive our homes, we have to start with our men, with our young men, with our older men that have been taught these lies of the enemy that, you know, you're a man, so you roll your oats, this and the other. And what I want to show in Sexually Wise is the cultural lies that we've been taught as it deals with men's sexuality is totally against what the word says. And so what Sexually Wise is actually a study. So I'll give you where this study came from. This is nothing that I just pulled out of the bag like 3 months ago. The book was released in August, but the message was downloaded in my spirit, I want to say 2014, 2013. I sat down in frustration. I never will forget it. Every time I tell my testimony, I can see it. It's like I relive that moment, because I believe that the Spirit of God really showed up in that moment. And so I remember sitting down at the table, and I decided that I was going to, you know, give this marriage another try. And I decided that I was going to just have hope and trust God. And I wasn't really ready to be committed in a marriage. I lost a lot of faith in men. I was in a very rebellious point in my life. I've had a lot of those. And so I sat down and I said, Lord, I just need to understand why. You know, I just need to understand why does it seem like all men cheat, and am I really supposed to be okay with it? It did not make sense to me, and it wasn't something that I felt like I should accept. And so I feel like we have a culture of women that really accept these lies, and we have a culture of men that really accept these lies as it relates to their identity and sexuality. And so I sat down, and I don't know how I ended up in Proverbs, but I ended up in Proverbs, and it was Proverbs 5. And it went on down, and this is what the book goes into, these different scriptures. But it went into Proverbs 5, and Proverbs 5 says that a man that commits adultery lacks wisdom. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's one answer, you know, obviously. I mean, because the question that I asked God, I said, why is it that from the trap house to the White House, a man will almost lose everything over another woman? And, you know, some men have asked me, why is it that that's the one thing that we can't mess up in doing? But it's that one thing that divides us as men and women continually. We want security in you, and for some reason there's been this lie told that you can't give this. And so even with dealing with younger guys in the classroom, I heard a lot of things that their uncles told them, that their granddaddies told them. And I'm like, how do you settle down and build a productive home with these lies? You can't, because it's totally unscriptural, and anything that's not unscriptural to me it's a lie. It doesn't produce any fruit. So anyway, so as God began to answer me, he began to show me a couple of things. He began to show me that men that cheat are not weak. And I said that in the video a couple of months ago. Men that cheat are not weak. And I think that a lot of men have come to the conclusion that they're down on themselves, because I really believe that it's in the heart of a lot of men to be faithful. But when you have an urge, or you've been programmed to believe a certain thing and you operate out of that, it's kind of like, how do you stray away from what you're used to? And so that was one thing, because the scriptures say in Proverbs that she brought down the strange woman, the adulterous woman. Hello, she brought down even the strongest of men. And that stuck out to me, because I'm like, from the White House to the trap house, I'm telling you, it just stuck out to me that most men in our culture deal with this. And so that was another thing. Men that commit adultery lack wisdom. Men that cheat are not necessarily weak, but there's a spirit of seduction. There's a spirit that some women operate in that they strategically, under that spirit, use seduction to their power. And we know that women have a lot of power as it relates to to men, but a lot of us don't exercise it in the correct way. And so Proverbs 5, 6, and 7, and that's what Sexually Wise talks about. Let me block. I don't know who you are, and I don't really. First of all, I'm not your baby. So anyway, let's move on. So this book, Sexually Wise, is a study of Proverbs 5, 6, and 7. And I had the opportunity to have a guy. I don't know him, but he's a young guy. He's not even 25. But, you know, he did the Ford, Robert Earl Hurt. He did the Robert Lee Hurt. I'm sorry. Robert Lee Hurt III. He did the Ford, and he talked about how sexual purity is something that's not just for women. We have a society that pushes women to sexual purity, but we don't hold men to the same standards. So if you go to Proverbs, his dad is talking to him, his mom is talking to him, especially in Proverbs 31. You'll see that the advice that was given to Solomon was not go sow your rural oats. It was rejoice in the wife of your youth. It was, why should you share your body with strange women? It was, don't spill your seeds in the street. So I'm like, how do we go from this message to, oh well, men will be men and this and the other? How those two don't match up. And we've seen the fruit of this. We've seen the fruit of this in our homes. We've seen the fruit of this in our relationships. We've seen the fruit of men losing and women losing and children losing their stability in their homes, losing their marriages, losing their jobs, losing all types of things in the realm of committing adultery or, you know, just being loose. Now you got 4, 5, 6 children by 6 baby mamas. You got STDs running rampant. So I'm doing this study, and you have men that are completely okay with, I'm finna hit some stuff. You have men that are completely okay with bisexual women, but then can't figure out where their lust for men come from. So let me break this down. You're a man, and you think that it's cool that, you know, the girl on girl action is cool. So you invite this bisexual spirit into your life because sex is spiritual. So when you have sex with this woman, you're also having sex with who she's had sex with, but you're allowing the spirit of bisexuality into your spirit because that's the same spirit that's on her. And then the cycle continues when now you're undercover because you can't let nobody know that you're bisexual now. You're a man. And then, and statistics prove this, I'm not just talking out of my head, statistics prove this. Now, you've got bisexual men transferring more AIDS, more HIV, more STDs to women. Or let's say you are stepping out on your girl who's completely innocent, and you're bringing her back things, not just spiritually, but physically. So we have this cycle. And in this season, I'm always reminded in this season because I had one of the most intimate encounters with God during this season, but it was the hardest heartbreak that I ever experienced in my life during this season as well. And it was around Valentine's Day. Because if you're a man, and we like to joke about it, you know, oh, he gonna be with his main chick on Valentine's Day, side chicks, you know, you'll get your present. Like, we have made this acceptable. And so you're, as a man, you're broken. The woman is broken. So you have broken men and women raising children, because children are being produced out of these broken relationships. And how do you raise whole and healed children if you're broken? You can't. And so it's all cool and dandy. You know, if you feel like, you know, she a freak, or she do this and that because she invites another woman in, but it's destruction. It's complete destruction. And then you can't figure out, what's up, AJ? You can't figure out why all of a sudden you have lust for men, or why all of a sudden you can't leave this strange woman alone. She's operating under manipulation and witchcraft, because she's using her body. She's using the power that she has in the sexual realm to trap you. You're releasing your energy to her. She's gaining your energy. And so it's a cycle. And so I wanted to start with Sexually Wise with this promotion, because there are so many men and women that need to acknowledge what's going on in our society and in our culture. And somebody has to say enough is enough. So breaking down the contents of Sexually Wise. So you have Wisdom Speaks. I give you the purpose of the book, which is because, like I said, I sat down, I wanted to know, how do you break this stuff? And so I believe God shared with me. So you have Proverbs chapters 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, 22, 23, and 23 and 30. And if you really study Proverbs, you can go through Proverbs and study how many times his mom or his dad is warning him against strange women, warning him about not going down to the adulterous woman's house. Let me tell you, the Bible tells you how strange women act, how they dress, the type of words that they'll use. It's a complete warning. So for us to be so blinded and think that, well, men just need to be men and men need to get this up out of them, no, like, that's a complete lie from the enemy. And so after we go through studying Proverbs, then there's some wisdom on what you should be looking for in a wife. When you go through the book of Song of Solomon, you look at a man that was in love. And what brought Solomon down, Solomon was the richest man ever. But what brought him down was being with women who were strange. And God told him, obey my commandments. You'll live long and you'll have all the success in the world. It was the women that brought Solomon down. It was the women that brought Solomon's kingdom down. So we look at Song of Solomon. We look at divine intimacy, because sex is not a bad thing. Sex is good. It's designed for marriage, and it's designed for you to have good sex in your marriage. My banner thing fell. So it's designed for you to have good sex in your marriage. It's not something that you're supposed to get married and then all of a sudden not be appeasing anymore. You're not supposed to get married. No, you're supposed to truly have your best sex ever within the contents of a healthy, monogamous marriage. And that's another thing which I'm not going to go into, because that's not part of the book. But I do talk to wives, and I do break down the power of divine intimacy, because there is unity and there's power in sex in marriage. But that's another topic for another day. I'm not going to go into that. Then it's Back to Eden. Back to Eden breaks down, basically, if you love a woman, the best thing that you can do for her, outside of loving God and loving and being a man after God's heart, the best thing that you can do for her is put a ring on her finger, because there's protection under covenant. And we joke about it, but like, it's really not a joke. It was Adam being out of position, or Eve being out of position, that brought sin into the world. Now, I'm not going to argue about who is who did what, but where was Adam? Where was Adam when he should have been covering his wife? You cannot say that you love a woman. What's up, Jay, you cannot say that you love a woman if you're not willing to protect her under the covenant of marriage. And so I'm not going to go into that either. That's in the book. Then we go to the Ephesians order. As a man, if you're married, you are head of your household. All of this is scriptural. This is nothing I'm just pulling out of the sky. Trust me. All of this is very scriptural. And then it goes into the Proverbs woman. What should your wife look like? A lot of times we have been fooled. We have been so fooled. We have been so fooled. Grizz. We have been so fooled by being turned on by, you know, the facades of the world, where we don't even understand what marriage is. A lot of people don't understand that marriage was ordained by God. So how can you have a marriage and you don't even believe in God, or you don't believe in the word? The best way for you to be a good spouse, a good husband, is to be a man. I'm reminded when I met this guy. Thanks, AJ. We appreciate that. I'm reminded I met this guy, and I'm wrapping up because I just wanted to kind of give you guys a outline of what the book was, and you know why I'm pretty passionate about it. But I'm reminded I met this guy back home, and he bragged about how he was ready for marriage and how he was this and the other to his girlfriend, and this. I say, well, how's your relationship with God? Well, you know that. No, I don't know. I don't know. How is your relationship with God? How are you as a husband? How are you as a husband going to lead, going to protect, going to love her as Christ loves the church if you're not willing to lay down your life for her first and marry her? And secondly, die to your flesh to protect her. See, being a celibate man means that you're honoring your wife before you get her. You can't say that you're honoring your wife or you're ready for a wife when you're not honoring your body. You're not honoring what's supposed to be hers while you're single. You should be preparing for her as she should be preparing for you. And that's what Sexually Wise zones in on. We have to get all of these lies and things out of our head. Like, we just can live how we want to live. Just because you're a man doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a whore. That's who said that had to be your reality. Just because you're a man does not mean that you cannot be celibate. Just because you're a man doesn't mean that you have to have multiple women. The Bible speaks completely against that. Now, were there multiple wives in the Bible? Wives, first of all, not girlfriends. There were multiple wives in the Bible, and in those times, in those settings, God allowed it for whatever, well, I'm not going to say for whatever reason, because I understand it, but that's not what we're dealing with today, because it's illegal for you to have more than one wife anyway. So it's not cool, because not only that, you're not protecting yourself, you're not protecting your future wife, you're not preparing for your future wife, but you're not allowing yourself to be prepared to be a husband. You have to be purged. You have to understand that it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. God expects holiness. And just because you're a man doesn't relinquish you from the ability to be holy. So that's what Sexually Wise is about. Sexually Wise is for men, but also I think for women as well, to have a better understanding, because women need to identify when they're the strange women. And I speak to girlfriends on this. If you're a girlfriend and you're allowing this man to not be a king in your life, if you're allowing him the opportunity to lay down and have sex with you and treat you like a wife and play wife, then you are a strange woman to him. You are not helping to be, you are not in your position, which is to build him, to be the rib. A rib sustains, it protects. And that goes more into women wanting to be wives, and you don't even understand what you're supposed to do as a wife. But you want to be a wife. Same thing with a husband. You don't understand. What's up, CJ? You don't understand what you're supposed to be doing as a husband, but you want to be a husband. It's not cool. It's not cool. And Proverbs, and I don't have to say it and stand on it because I've seen it for myself. If you look at your life and you look at the men around you, and they've encouraged you to be a whore, they've encouraged you to be a womanizer, they've encouraged you to do anything that's against what the word says that you're supposed to be doing as a man, you probably got or had STDs, unless you're just super careful. But I mean, the laws are pretty much what they are. You probably have a lot of children by different women. You probably broke, because the word warns you of all of this. The Bible says itself, and I'm telling you guys, download this book. It will be in a couple of hours. Actually, it's gonna be going live. Probably I think at 12 or 2 o'clock, but it's gonna go live February the 1st. It'll be free from February the 1st to February the 3rd, and then after that, I'm gonna do a special on sexual skeletons. I have to come back and talk about that. But with this, the Bible has given you complete key. I've seen it. The Bible has given you complete keys to being free from these strange women. And Solomon's mother tells him, don't go out having sex with any and everything. Not wrap it up. No. Why should you be giving what? We have fooled ourselves into thinking that a woman's virginity is precious where a man's body is not. No. Your parts are just as valuable as hers. Your parts are just as valuable as hers. So you can't put women in a box like, yes, we are the ruby, we are all that. But if it was meant, and this is what really gets me, and I gotta go. This is what really gets me. Solomon's mama, when she talked to him, she said, it's not for kings. First of all, you got to understand that you're a king. And a king does not necessarily just do any and everything that he wants to do just because he has the title of a king. If you're a king, you act accordingly. A king is nothing without a queen. Not whores, but a queen. So if you go through this book, if you go through Sexually Wise, and you go through and study Proverbs for yourself and begin to ask God to help you apply these things in your life, you will see the fruit of it. You will see purity evolve in your life. And you'll see the dead relationships. You'll be able to decipher. And I'm just going to be completely honest. I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah, it's going to be free on Amazon Kindle from February the 1st to February the 3rd. I'm going to be completely honest, because I've been challenged in the past with the spirit of bisexuality. And one thing that caught me with women was I could never, ever, ever fully trust them. I've been given a spirit of discernment where I know when a woman is being manipulative with me. But the warning in Proverbs tells you that when you give yourself to these women, they have the ability to blind you. You don't know why you going crazy over this girl, or why you have no clue why you broke. She got your children. She don't want to let you see your kids. Women can be, under seducing spirits, women can be the most evil. And I'm a woman, and I say this as a woman. Okay? So, if you think about all of the great kings in the Bible, even Samson was one of the strongest men. He had the spirit of might from heaven himself. But what brought him down? The seducing spirit of a woman that he wasn't supposed to be attached to. So it's in your best interest to learn how to value yourself as a king. There's nothing wrong with that. And when you understand that you are a king, you understand that you can rule a kingdom with a queen way better than peasants. Because if a woman is not in your corner to challenge you to be a better man, she's a woman that's not in a position to be a queen. And so that's what Sexually Wise is essentially about. I love this book, not just because I wrote it. I don't ever give I just say I'm a tool. I just type. I feel like the Holy Spirit speaks a lot of revelations. Some revelations I didn't even have before I wrote it. And so there are prayers in here. There are affirmations in here. Daily affirmations, daily prayers, daily things, just to get you into the presence of God. And I understand that, you know, a lot of men maybe don't have the relationship with God that they need to. And I just want to invite you to come to know God as your Father. I'm going to give you an example, and then I'm going to be done. So this is from Proverbs 7, 5 through 27. And this is in the book. And it's titled The Trap. It says, "For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and behold, among the simple ones," simple means foolish or lacking understanding, "I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding." So this is Proverbs. She's talking to young men. "Passing through the street near her corner, he went the way to her house. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there he met a woman with an attire of a harlot." So you don't even know that. You know it because when you have your woman, you don't want your woman dressed in a certain way. But you don't understand that women that dress whorish are operating under a spirit that some of them realize and some of them don't. But they're operating under the spirit of a whore, a strange woman. And so it's supposed to seduce you. It's supposed to get you off. It's supposed to turn you on because you're visual. And I lost my place here. But I wanted to go into this before I left because I really want to give you just a piece of what this book talks about. So right here it says, first of all, she's dressed like a harlot. She's dressed like a hoe. And subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. She's loud, she's stubborn, she ain't never at home. Now is she without in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. Yet somebody is waiting to go to Specs tonight, if you from home, because it's Thursday, to be up in somebody's face with some alcohol so you can take her home and essentially leave yourself to a path of death and destruction, because that's all she offers. So I find it interesting that the Bible takes the time to tell you what you're supposed to be looking for. It says she caught him, she kissed him, and she said, "I have peace offerings. The day I've paid my vows." She said, "I've decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen." Women know. They know how to use. We know how to use what we got. You as a man have to understand that there are seducing spirits on assignment for your life. There are seducing, and I'm sorry, this video was not supposed to be this long, but there are seducing spirits on assignment for your life as a man. And the wisdom of God will keep you if you allow it to. So, I've got to wrap up, and that's it, because I didn't plan on being on here this long. But if you receive anything, like it, share it. If you're not bold enough to share, just do like AJ been doing. Not saying you're not bold enough to share, AJ, because you probably have, but tag some people up under it, tag some men up under it, tag some women up under it, and just share it, because like I said, we're going into this month, and I want you to think about some things differently. You know, I don't want you to think about this month being Valentine's month, oh, you finna get you some from all these women that you've been playing, because you just need to, they're so insecure, all they want is some gifts and they wide open. No, like, let this be a beginning of something new in your life. And as we look and celebrate February as the month of love, let's actually tap into the realest love, and that's God himself. And so with that, Y'all be easy. I'll be back soon because we'll be talking about sexual skeletons. We'll be talking about my own personal journey with a call to purity and why that's going to be on sale for an entire week before the new release, 40 Days to Freedom, which is devotional. So if you haven't, check out the website, www.witnesslegend.com. You can check out the blogs that I've done on this as well. That's at zoedspeaks.com. So like it, share it. I'm out.